My name's Tiffany, I'm 33, I'm a mum to a little boy who's 2 and I work as a gym manager and personal trainer. Yes, I hadn't always considered breast surgery, but when I was pregnant with my little boy, I'd put on a substantial amount of weight. I've got a very active lifestyle, and when I was pregnant, I wasn't able to move as much. Then when I was on maternity leave, obviously I wasn't in the gym. My partner at the time was working away a lot, which meant that I was just at home, eating, looking after a child and not moving. So my breasts were substantially increased in size. I then returned to work after my maternity leave, lost all of the weight that I'd put on, which resulted in me having a lot of excess skin, which then made me unhappy with clothes that I was wearing. And another reason as well is that when I'm at work and I'm completing exercises, teaching classes, things like that, if I'm doing exercises on the floor, such as press-ups, where I'm leaning forward, I can just feel that the skin is sagging and going towards the floor. I feel like sports bras don't even keep my breasts in place at the moment. So yeah, important to me to not feel self-conscious.
In Tiffany's case, the two things we need to help her are, one is to replace the volume of the breast, and two is to reposition the nipple positions and tighten the tissues. This is how we can improve the shape of the breast.
When I first was looking into getting breast surgery, I was looking abroad, mostly to do with the cost. I had a few friends that had previously been abroad, didn't necessarily have the best experiences, but I thought, money was important to me. I reached out on Instagram to my followers and was asking some advice. And one of my friends reached out who worked at the Karidis clinic in London and suggested that even if I was still going to go abroad, that I came in for a consultation with the surgeon here and took that advice abroad if necessary, but really just to get myself the best advice, which I did. I then met with Mark and he made me feel at ease. I went in thinking I would want teardrop shape implants and under the muscle, and his advice was the opposite. So we've gone with round implants and over the muscle. I trust his advice and feel like I've made the best decision to come with the Karidis clinic for my operation.
Tiffany would like to have some what we call upper pole fullness with the implant that we place in her body. So a round implant usually gives you a slightly more fullness in the upper part, while the anatomical teardrop shape, because the concentration of the volume is in the lower part, projected slightly less in the upper pole. In Tiffany's case, we place the implant in front of the muscles because one is that she works in the gym and she does a lot of exercise. Placing it in front of the muscles, you will not have that muscle's activity being noticed, and therefore it's likely better in a case like this.
To prep for surgery, I'm already very active and healthy and live a good lifestyle, but I made sure that I just lost 2 kilos just to be a little bit more BMI friendly. I also I upped my exercise a little bit and was working my upper body just to make sure my muscles were as strong as possible, and to get me ready for where I needed to be. Post-surgery, I've given myself 5 weeks to recover. I've got a very active job. I can do part of it online, so I'll just focus on that bit towards the end of my recovery. It also has worked out, very lucky with my mum's job, that she is on holidays for 6 weeks, and I'm able to stay at her house to be waited on hand and foot. And she'll also help look after my little boy with me. Arrived for the day of my surgery, reception was really welcoming. I've been shown to my room, which is lovely, and I met with Mark again, who just went through my surgery of what was going to be happening, what time I was going down, etc. I only had one worry. I've just been really excited. I was just worried about waking up again from the anaesthetic, but then I met with the anaesthetist and he just told me it's not a thing and not to be worried. So now I'm just really excited and don't have any worries and just looking forward to seeing the result. I just wasn't expecting it to be so good, to be honest. I did expect it to take a lot longer. It's been 2 weeks now and I am just back to my daily activities and just running around my daily life, to be honest. The hardest part was just not seeing my little boy for a few days. I was only in pain for a couple of days. I had my surgery on the Wednesday and had by Saturday evening to stop taking painkillers. But yeah, the recovery itself was really good and much better than expected. After the surgery, I was expecting to have bandages like wrapped around my chest, but I was really surprised to see that it was just small dressings, like plasters, which was really good because then when I was changing my bra, like to wash and things like that, I was actually able to see them much sooner than my 2-week appointment. But yeah, I'm just dying to get my dressings off today. I'd planned to have 5 weeks recovery off of work. It's been 2 weeks now and I've actually taken 3 weeks annual leave back again, so I'm going back to work on Monday just because I feel ready to return and get a little bit bored at home. I've just been really excited and like, my confidence has just gone from like here to here already, like, and I haven't even got dressings off, so yeah, I'm just really happy.